Coming to you live from the Results Operations Center in Midrand, Johannesburg, at the Gallagher Convention Center. And of course, lots has been said about how this election played out, certainly yesterday, how the IEC has handled it, and then, of course, the anticipation about not just the numbers of how the parties have fared, but also what voter turnout looked like. But we're going to be hopefully getting some of those answers now, and I'm joined now by Granville Abrahams, who is the General Manager of Electoral Operations for the IEC. Thank you so much for joining us, and a good morning to you.
Good morning, my absolute pleasure.
It must, I mean, I can only imagine how busy of a day it was for the IEC yesterday. I think a good place to start is how you rate yourselves as an IEC. Out of 10, how well you've done in executing this very election.
Well, Naledi, we always try to do a perfect job. We can't do anything than striving to do a perfect job. Under the circumstances, I think we could have done better, but I think that given the challenges that we had, we were able to get back up to our feet very quickly by making minor adjustments. And we hope at the end of the day that the numbers will tell the story.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about, you know, how you were able to deal with some of those challenges. A few political parties as well have spoken to media houses saying they might very well want to take this issue forward with you.
Well, what I can say to you is that some of these decisions and adjustments that we've made in consultation with political parties, so they were on board all the way through. But it's also their right to take it forward if they want to. But we are focused on the job at hand. And at this stage, we're busy with the counting and tabulation of results.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We're only about 1% of the way in, and the anticipation is, I mean, it's, to say palpable is an understatement, right? People really wanting to see what the election's results are going to be. The time frames that the IEC has set itself to really get those answers for South Africans.
I think the most important thing is that we need to ensure that the results are accurate. And we are certainly not going to rush. As I'm speaking now, I just checked in with some of my provinces. There are places where we haven't started counting as yet, and we did the wise thing. After voting, we closed down the station in consultation with party agents, and we said, let's go and have a nap so that we can come back fresh. There is certainly no rush. Legislatively, we have 7 days within which to announce the results. Historically, and also under similar circumstances, we've been able to get more than 90% of results in within the first 24 hours. So it is a bit of a trickle now, even also at local offices where people are supposed to be capturing these results. They've also taken a break. And as I said, accuracy is most important, and it's important that we have fresh people on board. We're also having a change of shift now of auditors, our independent auditors. So it's important that we are alert to produce accurate results. People have stood in queues for long. A lot of effort has gone into that, and we can't compromise at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been the issue, I suppose, for the past few days about, you know, just how much civic education South Africans have received, right? I mean, you went onto social media and people were talking about a hashtag Section 24A, and I wonder if that speaks to people actually knowing the legislation and arguing it, what that says about civic education.
Well, I think all of us can do more. Civic education is not just the IEC's responsibility. We do not have sole mandate thereof. But within the space where we operate, we have done significant. We've had our social media platforms. We've had engagements on the ground. We've had our schools voter education program. So we can give you a list of all the things that we've done. Yeah. But the challenge out there is also what is civil society doing as well. As far as this is concerned. Yeah,
we've only voted about we've counted about 46,000 of our voters. Do we know how big the voter turnout is?
Unfortunately, we cannot say. If we had our voter management devices on board, we would have been able to give you that before counting started. But everything is now gone manual. Once all of the results are in, we'll be able, the picture will unfold. We'll be able to tell you what voter turnout is. But also as the results come in, we will get to a point where we'd be able to say that things have leveled out now and to be able to make some kind of a prediction on voter turnout. I
mean, that's going to be a big question, especially for this election. There's an expectation that we're going to set a record here. And I'm running out of time, but I need to squeeze this one in. The process of counting these votes, by the time they appear here on the screen, I guess another opportunity for us to educate South Africans on just the transparency that you're able to give us. What happens once that ballot has been put in that box?
Well, from the time immediately after all the ballots have been put in the box, as you put it, once voting has stopped, we close the station and we count immediately. Ballots do not move. We count immediately at that voting station in the presence of party agents. The result of that count is then transferred to what we call a result slip. Party agents are also able to take at this stage a photographic image of that result slip and affix their signature to that. That result slip makes its way to the local office, where it is captured, not once but twice, the second time blind, what we call blind captured. The result and image, which is scanned, is then audited by external auditors. And the final step is, we also set parameters for exceptions.
Yeah.
Once all of that is cleared, then it comes onto the board.
All right, that is quite the process, and so it explains just how much work is yet to be done before we actually get those results. But we're going to leave it there, and I imagine we'll be talking some more over the next few days as we get more of those numbers coming in. Granville Abrahams is the General Manager of Electoral Operations.